Hello, everyone. Welcome. I created this Excel spreadsheet to help track my trades, and so I'm going to show you how I set it up. And if you like it, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share it with your friends. All right. So we gotta go. All right. So when setting up your Excel spreadsheet, as you can see down here, I already pretty much have some stuff set up here. Trades, date of the trade, price I paid for the trade, how many shares I bought, the cost. And we'll get to win loss column, profit loss column, price target, stop price, the broker, target price, risk per share, date sold and the sold price, and then the what I ended up making on the trade. Now this is over here the cost per trade and the win loss columns. Um, we'll talk about those as well. Hopefully I'll be able to squeeze all this in without taking too long or too much of your time. Alright, so first off, the my trades. Trade date and the price paid, shares and cost. Okay, so I want to change that around a little bit. I want to make that ticker, right? And I'll still use the date there. But the price paid and shares I want to switch. The amount of shares I purchased and then the price I paid for them. Alright, that's starting, it's kind of making more sense to me. And then, of course, the cost. Okay, and you always want to hit save when you're doing stuff like this, so just in case you lose it, you come back and it'll still be there where you went. Alright, now, as we get further into this, I'll show you how to go into protecting the sheet to where the stuff that you have in here won't get accidentally typed over and you'll lose it. Okay, so we'll show you how to fix that later on. Okay, so let's work with these first, what we have here first, alright? So let's pick our ticker, which we're going to be picking my favorite that I like to mess around with. Of course, is my Chipotle. Alright, poor Chipotle. Okay, so current price of Chipotle is $49.98. Okay, so price here $49.98. Okay, so let's see. Our ticker is Chipotle. Okay, the date is, today's date is 3/12/2025. Okay, so we're gonna buy one share of Chipotle at $49.98. Alright, so our cost, okay, we're gonna need a formula for that. Okay, now let's see what happens if we hit auto sum. Alright, so auto sum gives us that. Okay, so it says equal sum, and it's got parentheses C2 and D2. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. Alright, so it gave us $50.98. Okay, so basically it just added $1. That one share became $1. Okay, well, we don't want that, right? So now we can go back into here, click on that, and then modify our results that it gave us. Okay, so instead of equals sum parentheses C2, and we're going to work on what's inside the parentheses here. Okay, so we want to be 1 times right, 49.98. Okay, so we'll delete that colon there, or semicolon, or whatever the hell that thing is called. We'll delete that thing, and we'll put a star in there, or a time symbol. So shift, on my keyboard it's use shift to get to that star symbol. Okay, then you hit enter. Alright, so we bought 1 share, price paid $49.98, the cost is $49.98. Okay, and so now it should change every time we buy 10 shares. Okay, $499.08. And let's verify that. Alright, so 49.98 times 10 equals, okay, so we know our calculation is working right inside here. Okay, so we ticker, date, shares, price paid, and the cost, total cost. We can change that to total cost too. Alright, total cost. Okay, and then let's save it just to make sure we don't lose what we have so far. Okay, so there's our formula. Equals sum, in parentheses, what we're going to be working in. C2, which is shares, and 2, so C2, okay, times D2, D2, 49.98. Okay, and then our results shows up here in the square, $499.08, or 80 cents. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's say we're gonna get our other favorite, Rocket Lab. Alright, today's date, and currently Rocket Lab is at about 18 bucks. Oops, it's $18. Okay, so how many shares of Rocket Lab can we afford? Let's say at $18, 100 shares. Okay, so we don't have our formula in there just yet, right? Because we're starting a new line. So basically all we really have to do is click on here now. Okay, there's our formula. Go to the home, click on home, right? Go over to fill, click on fill, and we want to fill down. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll highlight, drag and drop. Alright, we're going to go all the way down to here because it's 21. Yeah, because we need 20 trades, so we'll do 21. Okay, then we'll come home, we'll fill and fill down. Alright, and so now whenever we put anything in here, it'll automatically populate over here for us in our total cost. Okay, and 100 times 18, 100 shares at $18 costs us $1,800. Okay, and we can do another one. Let's buy some more Chipotle. Alright, buy another 10 shares of that. And let's say our price went up $50. Okay, so that's our cost for Chipotle at $50. Okay, so it automatically populates for us. Okay, like that. So now we know we got, okay, so we have our date, we have our ticker, our date, shares we bought, the price we paid for them, and the total cost. Okay, now we need to protect this over here. Okay, our formulas we want to protect, because who wants to continue to go back and try to figure out this formula and put it back in here to make it make sense. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to protect this part right here, because this part right here we never want to change. We want that to stay constant. Okay, so what you do, and even this up here, okay, are labels. Alright, so let's protect our labels first. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to highlight them. Okay, and you highlight by your left click on the first square, and then you just drag it over without lifting your finger. Okay, so you click on it, and then you just drag to the right without lifting your finger off the button. Once you got everything highlighted you want to change or correct or remove, then you release your finger. Okay, and this kind of stuff is really basic. Using it, you should know how to use it. If you know how to use a computer, you should know how to drag, drop, and highlight and all that stuff already, but just for those of you that need a little refresher. Alright, then you release it. Okay, I'm sorry. Alright, once you drag, okay, so once you highlight everything that you want to change or manage, okay, you want to go to the, you could either right click on it, okay, and then scroll down to format cells, okay, and then this window will pop up, format cells. Okay, and you want to go to your protection button, click on that, and then you want to say lock. Okay, lock was already checked. Okay, so you show it as locked, and you hit OK. Alright, then you come over here to your total cost cells, click on total cost, drag, and stop. Okay, now all that's highlighted. Now you want to do the same thing. You can either right click or you can go to the home button, go to format, go to format cells, okay, and you want to hit the lock button's already lit, okay, so it's already checked, so you okay, so you hit OK. Alright, now for our cells that we like to change, we want to highlight those, okay, bring this down. Alright, and we're going to stop it right about there, because we should be tracking 20 trades at a time according to Oliver Velez. So we're going to track 20 trades at a time, and that's 20 trades of knowing, how well we're doing as a trader. Okay, and we'll get to that later on as we finish building this. Okay, so now we have all this highlighted, so we can right click on it, we can go to format our cells, okay, bring this over, you can see it, okay, format cells, and we can lock or unlock. But we want those cells unlocked because we need to be able to go in here and make changes in here. Okay, so we're going to unlock it, protection tab, we're going to unlock it, and we're going to hit OK. Now we want to make sure we save what we've done so far. Okay, now we go back to our home here, alright, our home tabs, and we want to go to review. Alright, and in review we come over here, we see protect the sheet. Now we can protect the sheet or we can protect the workbook, and that's a larger protection of all of your potential pages that you would have, but we just want to protect this sheet, okay, which is everything that we add into this as we go further down into the Excel spreadsheet. Alright, so we want to protect the sheet. Okay, you can give it a password or you can leave it blank. I prefer to leave it blank because if I forget the password, then now I can't get back in my sheet. Okay, so I like to leave it blank, and I'll hit OK. Alright, so now everything that we have the check mark on locked, this here, this here, this here, and this formula is down and through here, we shouldn't be able to change that. Everything in here that we had unlocked, we should be able to change. Okay, so for instance, here I should be able to type something, and that'll be that. Alright, but I shouldn't be able to change. See how it skipped over it? If I tab over, it won't even let me touch it. It just skips right over it. Alright. Now another thing too, we didn't unlock this here, so I shouldn't be able to type anywhere else other than, okay. Now over here it skipped to an area that I could type because when I originally made the spreadsheet, I deleted some stuff, but I didn't change those areas where they were already unlocked. Like why this was already unlocked over here, because I didn't change any of that. Okay, I just deleted everything so I can show you as I build it. Okay, so so if you're wondering why it would skip there and go to there, it's because that's why I have where I can type something there, but it won't let me do anything here because I have a formula here in here that I put down here. So this area is locked already because I've already had it set up, but I deleted the formulas and stuff just so I can show you how to build the formulas. Okay, if you're following that. If not, sorry, but I hope I'm clear on why it's allowing me to type in some areas but not in others. Okay, so getting back to this part here, so of course you should be able to know right now we can't type in those areas that we have locked. Okay, won't let you do it. Alright, but the areas that you didn't lock, you can make changes all day. Okay, now, so you see our formula. We need an actual number in here for our formula to work, or the value won't come up right. Okay, so that's another good thing about having an Excel spreadsheet. Alright, so I hope you guys are following along so far. I hope I'm not getting, I'm not a teacher or an instructor or anything. I'm just a dude that figured out how to build his own program tracker on Excel. Now I'm sharing it with you guys, for you fellow traders. Alright, so anyway, okay, so that's how you do that much so far. Alright, so now so we have our total cost for our trades. So what else do we need to know about our trading? Our trades that we put on. Well, we need a target price and a stop price, right? Alright, so I have down here, as you can see, I have my win, my losses, and my profit loss, and price target, stop range. and the broker and whatnot. And I've been wanting to change that, but I've just been too lazy to do it. But now, since I'm teaching you guys how to build your own trade tracker, then why not fix it now? So we got our total cost of our trade here, all right, which probably doesn't need to be there either. I probably could put it over here somewhere. It's just easier to do the formulas when it's right next to it. But if you want to move this stuff around to where it makes more sense to you, then more power to you. Because like the price target, you bought your shares, your price you paid. Maybe you should have a price target here, right? And then your stop price here, and then maybe your risk per share. We need a stop price. We need a price target. We need a risk per share. We need potential win, potential loss, and so we need to fix these here because we can't see what we have there. Risk per share, potential win, potential loss. We can see the potential loss because we haven't typed anything in our K1 cell. So once we type something there, then we won't be able to see that. So we need to fix that. So the way we're going to fix that is we're going to highlight these here because our other ones are okay so far. Alright, and we don't really want to highlight the K because we don't have anything there. We'll just highlight these three here, H, I, and J. Okay, we're going to go to the home button. We're going to go to format, and we're going to auto fit column width. Alright, auto fit column width. Click OK. And now we have that fixed where we can actually read them. Okay, let's get rid of that stuff. Okay, so we have our stop price. So we bought 10 shares at $49.98. Okay, because we got 10 positive shares, if we had 10 negative shares, okay, then alright, our cost would still be $49.80, $499.80, right? But this negative will change our formula and price. So we'll put that back to positive 10. That's what it costs us, $499.80. We got a stop price. So let's say $39.98. We're going to risk $10 per share. Alright. So risking $10 per share is going to be alright, so stop price. So that'll be $39.98. Oops. 98 will be our stop price. Okay. And our price target, let's add $10, will be $59.98. Alright. So our risk per share minus E2. Alright, and there's our potential loss. Okay, so that's our formula for that, and then luckily, the good thing about the Microsoft Excel program, and it's one of the things I like. One of the things about Microsoft that I do like, they did a really good job with this program and the ease of use. So, thumbs up to Microsoft for this one. Okay, some things I don't like about them, but this Excel program is really good. All right, so to add into the rest of our fields here, we're gonna say, okay, there's our formula for the potential win. Here's our formula for our potential loss. So we're gonna highlight. And our risk per share, we're gonna want to fill down also. So we'll highlight, we'll drag to fill down our 20 trades, and then we'll go home, fill down, or we can right click and go to and it ain't there. Alright, so we're gonna go home, fill down. Alright, and it adds our formulas for us, and now we're good to go for that field there. Okay. And it's got these little chingy arrows there saying, hey, there's a potential issue with our formula. Don't worry about that right now. These little flags, they may correct themselves or they may not, but they're not going to hurt anything either. We do know we've already double checked our formula for correctness, so we know our formula is good. Okay, and then the same thing here. Price target of $20. We'll say 20 on this one. It's our price target, and our stop price is $5, or let's say $10. Okay, and there's our potential loss. All right. Same thing with this one. We want to get to, let's see, 154. Stop price. Okay. Stop price of 32.65, and a price target of 78.45. Okay. Potential loss, potential gain. Okay. So now we need our risk per share. How much are we willing to risk for the amount of shares that we buy? So our risk per share, alright, we're going to figure out here. So what's our risk per share? Okay, so the way that formula works, alright, so we have our date sold. Next, our sold price, and our profit, loss. broker, our company, the name of the company, whose ticker we're using, and our broker. Alright. So let's go back and we'll make these fit in our columns. Okay. So now we got our date sold, day trading. Okay. So now if you want to change how that looks, you got to go up here into your formulas here. So I'm going to highlight that, and you don't want to be able to change anything in any of these cells. Okay, so we're going to right click, go to format cells, go to unlock and lock. Okay, so now all those cells are locked. Okay. Now, another thing we need to do, we need to make sure that this formula is down here, right? Okay, so we need to highlight our formulas, drag down. We're only going to do 20 trades at a time. We're going to hit our home button, go to our fill. We're going to fill it down. Okay, so now we have our formulas in here. Alright. Now, we have a formula here, okay, here, and here, and here, and here. But as you can see, our price filled down also because our price doesn't have a formula. Okay, so that price we don't need to fill down, and that was my mistake on that. Okay, so there we have our cost for our trades. Okay, our profit and loss, and then of course we have our company and our broker. Alright, and you can switch that around however you want it, broker, company, or whatever. That's up to you. So that's pretty much it. Alright, and then we can just put our trade totals. Alright, and we can come over here and we can do in here as well if you want to, track your price paid and your total cost. But total cost can go here, and now we can just do a simple, auto sum. Okay, and hit enter, and it'll do that for us. Okay. Now here, okay, we don't want that formula. Okay, we want a different formula here because we just want our total here. So we can just go auto sum again. Alright, and hit enter. Okay. So, and that's our, what we got here minus that 572 there, gave us a total of 12. Okay. So now, that might be confusing, so to break that up, what we'll do is we'll, separate what we have there from the rest of the numbers, and the way we'll separate them is we'll put some borders around. So we'll click on our arrow for borders, and accountant, they always say use a double bottom and a single overhead line. So we'll do a top and double bottom border. Okay, and so now that'll separate us from our numbers here that we're filling in. Okay, so we need to change our potential loss. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and do the same thing with our auto sum. Okay, hit enter. Everything we want to auto sum to add up into that square, we highlight it, hit enter, and there you go. Okay, that's our potential loss. And then of course our profit and loss, what we ended up with, same thing, auto sum. Okay, hit enter, and there you have it. So we had a positive of $72, but then we had a loss of $1,800, a loss of $500, and a loss of $572, which came to a total of $2,709.80. And we can verify that. We should always verify our formulas and make sure our formulas are working. Okay, so excuse me. Alright, let's verify our formula. Alright, so we got 7260 minus 1800 minus 500 minus 572.4 gives us 2799.80. Alright, so we know our formula is good. Okay. Alright, so now we need to get rid of this stuff because we didn't do anything with this one. So we delete that, and our formula is changed again. Okay. Now, so as you can see, our potential win is $584, but our potential loss was $1,073. But we didn't pick our price per share or our risk per share. Alright, which is that formula there. We don't have to do anything with it. There's no formulas here, so we need to put our risk per share formula down here. Fill that down. Alright. Okay. So there's our risk per share there. Date sold and our sold price. Okay, we don't have a sold price yet, so we don't know exactly what our profit and loss was for that trade. But let's just go ahead for our examples. Let's go ahead and say, okay, our sold price was on 3/12 because we're still day trading, and of course we need to go in and fix that, but we can leave it that way for now. Our sold price, let's say we took a loss on that one and we sold it at $17.68. Okay, so we lost $32 on that trade. Okay, and we risked $8 on that trade. Okay, but we lost. We actually took a loss of $32. Okay, because we had a stop price of 10 and a price target of 20. Alright. So instead of taking that $800 loss and then it dropped to $10, we cut it short $17.68, only took a $32 loss. Okay. And then our date. And then same thing with our Chipotle, our other Chipotle trade. I don't know, let's see, we got price paid 50. So took another loss there, 48.64. Alright. Alright, so we had 2 losses and a win. Alright. And so far we're still positive because our 2 losses are less than our 1 win. And we're positive $27. Alright. Which isn't bad because our potential loss could have been this. Our potential gain could have been this, but these so far were still ahead by $27. Alright. So I hope that was pretty well explained. Alright, so that's how you set up your own trade tracker. And I hope it comes in handy for you. I hope it, you know, now you're going to get the gist of how to go in there and manipulate it to make it work for how you want it to work. Put in your own stuff that works for you. And, you know, keep track of everything you need to keep track of. I didn't do the cost per trade and the win-loss and the average win-loss and all that stuff. We'll figure that out because right now it seems like it's getting kind of long, and it might just make it just as nuts. So I'll do another one on Trade Tracker and cost per win, loss, average win, and total. My next video, okay. But to keep try to keep this keep your attention and keep this as short as possible. I'm going to cut it here. Hope you've already liked, subscribed, hit the notification bell for the next one. And be careful out there, these markets are crazy.